since I've been asked to summarize my observations on these 3 days, what I would like to say is that since I'm an organon teacher, I'm a teacher of organon, I'll start from there, that in aphorism number 83, Dr. Hahnemann says that to take a case well, a homeopath needs 4 qualities. And those 4 qualities are: number 1, freedom from prejudice; number 2, sound senses; number 3, attention in observation; and number 4 is fidelity in tracing the picture of disease. These are the 4 qualities that Dr. Hahnemann has mentioned in aphorism number 83, without which there can be no case taking, no good case taking. And what I have come to realize, that although this was a seminar about repertory called Repertory Series, but for me it was all about the art of observation and art of case taking, because the repertory works on the principle of GIGO. Since I'm a computer engineer also, all the computers work on the principle of GIGO, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. If you feed garbage data into computer, you'll only get garbage results. And that's true for repertory also. If you do not take your case well, then the rubrics that you are going to get is nothing but garbage. And if you feed that garbage into your software or repertorization sheet, all you are going to get is garbage results, which will never cure. So, for me, what I have learned from these 3 days is different methods of approaching the case, in different ways to look at the case, different level of attention required in different types of cases. And right from day 1, when we started with Dr. Sujit Chatterjee, there have been different learnings from each of the speaker. When Dr. Sujit Chatterjee started showing his cases, one thing that struck me was how easy for a person like him is to move from a pure classical approach to a sensation approach and to a Banerjee protocol, where he is not afraid of or ashamed of losing his stature by saying that in a particular case he used the Banerjee protocol with 4 medicines. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to be someone who is standing at this stage, who is internationally renowned, to accept their mistakes and to show that, okay, not every case is a rosy case, not every case is a perfect case. There are cases where there are a lot of cases where we flounder. There are a lot of different techniques each one of us uses in a practice, whatever school of thought we may belong to. But there's not a single homeopath who sticks to only that school of thought. We all use, at times we use materia medica, different understandings of materia medica, at times we use different repertorial approaches, at times we use therapeutic approaches, at times we use a particular school of thought approach, and it's all needed, because every case is different. Every case is different. Then we moved on to Dr. Sankran's live cases presentation, and that is again a very, very enriching experience, because to see cases on paper and to see actually cases being taken live and to understand how that case is being analyzed, it's like trying to understand the way a person analyzing the case live. It's very wonderful to see, and it's very, very good for learning. This is something which I feel that it should happen in every seminar, although it doesn't happen in most of the seminars. But live video cases is something that is very enriching, very, very profoundly learning experience for all of us here. And the next day we started with Dr. Gaurang Gaikwad. Gaurang, young but very, very clear in his approach, and what I liked was that he chose a particular topic, thyroid cases, and then like you have got a half a dozen thyroid cases, and then you can see how the individualization makes all the difference. There are so many, you are not treating every case with thyroidinum or lepus albus or iodium or natrum muriaticum in a therapeutic fashion. So it was a very, very good example of the process of individualization that Gaurang shared with us. And then we had none other than Dr. Sarkar himself with us for the whole day after that, after the initial lecture of Dr. Gaurang. For me, the lecture was not just inspiring but also a bit depressing. Why I felt a bit depressed was because the level of knowledge that these people have, the level of passion these people have, you feel like, hey, what have I done for so many years? But you come across a person who at the age of 65, he's teaching here for 7 hours to us straight, and then he goes up in the clinic, sees patients for 5 to 6 hours. He reaches back the hotel at 11. He has people to meet, and then before sleeping, he'll study Materia Medica or repertory for 1 hour. Every day. Every day he'll see like 150, 200, 300 patients. After he'll go to bed after midnight, and then he'll study for an hour, and then he'll be up again at 4:30 next morning. Who amongst us has that kind of passion? I mean, I cannot come anywhere close to it. I was talking to Manisha, my wife, who is here, that I feel like I'm a alsi person. Although I work full day, but when I compare myself to him, I feel like I'm a lazy person. I'm a couch potato. My life is too easy. I would never think of going back tired after seeing 100 patients in a day and going back at home at night and then study Materia Medica for an hour. Forget it. But the problem is that with the young generation, and I'll count myself in that generation, if you can excuse my head, is that we want to reach to the level, we want to become a Dr. Sankran, we want to become Dr. Sarkar, we want to become Dr. Humrawala. But do we have the kind of passion, the kind of commitment, the kind of energy? I would say we don't. We don't put in that kind of effort, we don't put in that kind of energy, we are not so committed. We want life to give us all the results, but are we willing to put in all that effort? The problem is, we do not realize that the results that we get in our life, the success that we get in our life is directly proportional to the work we are putting in. There is nobody who is born intelligent, born super intelligent. There even people like Albert Einstein, they were supposed to be dyslexic or partly autistic. They were not even, the school teachers complained that he is dyslexic. So, but they prove because of their passion, their commitment, and that commitment shows in the work of Dr. Sarkar. So what I am taking back home with me is that this has been an area where I need to work more. I need to study Materia Medica more. I need to learn from the old authors more. I'm going more back home, more invigorated, more energized, with my passion for learning renewed. And that is the crux of Dr. Sarkar's presentation for me. And then today we had in the morning, Dr. Gajanan Dhanipkar. Again, a totally different approach we saw. So many acute cases, so many different cases from a busy clinical practice. Not every case that we see, we say that in classical homeopathy you need to give a lot of time, but here he's showing us that in acute OPD, where you have cases of fever, coryza, vertigo, pain in abdomen, how you can quickly see very, very carefully the patient, and based on the acute totality itself, you can reach a wonderful remedy. So what Dr. Henneman says, the fourth quality, diligence in tracing the picture of the disease. You have to take the case very, very, very minutely. Do not leave any stone unturned. And if you actually read Henneman's case taking, in several aphorisms, he has given the list of questions that he himself used to ask. If you read that list of questions, you will see that you will not even ask 1/10 of those questions to your patient. He was so very particular. If a patient would come to him with a pain in abdomen, and if the patient doesn't give you any modality, Henneman would go to an extent where he would ask the patient to walk, sit, lie, turn in the bed left, turn in the bed right, and see if there is any change in the pain. Do we do that kind of effort? No, we don't. Most of us don't. So, and last but not the least, we had Dr. Humrawala. It was a pleasure to listen to her today. Very different approach, very unique approach, and rather I would say it makes a lot of things simple. it's there are a lot of new approaches which make the things complex. Her approach makes the thing simple, that if you understand the temperament of the person, what I really liked was the classification of the rubrics. Like, if you know, broadly understand the temperament of the patient, and if you know the temperament, then you can reach the relevant rubrics and differentiate amongst them. And then if you have the right rubrics, then the GIGO principle applies. Doesn't apply, you put in the right rubrics, you get the right remedy. So overall, a wonderful opportunity the Other Song Academy has provided us, and I'm going back home energized, invigorated, with more passion to learn, with greater passion to practice, with more perfection, more sincerity, and I hope we all are doing that. For me, I usually don't attend seminars except when I come to the Other Song Academy, because I feel that this is a place where I learn a lot. There's a lot of transparency, a lot of different schools are being merged here, a lot of openness. There's no dogma about that you have to follow only this approach or that approach. So the kind of openness, the kind of candidness, the kind of collaborative atmosphere, the kind of live cases that you see, the kind of discussion, one-to-one discussion that we have with students here, it has been an amazing experience always to come here. And to those who are on the Relay Center, if you have not been here, I would request you to be here on during our next seminar. Thank you so much.